right? So like one of the fears is running out of money. Okay. No shit. When I woke up this morning, I had negative. There she is.
Finally. Yeah, I need an engraved invitation.
You needed the red carpet, Val.
What?
You needed the red carpet.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my God. All right. Well, here we all are finally. Yay.
So as you were saying, you woke up this morning.
This morning my bank notifies me every morning of my bank balance, like in one of my accounts. And it was negative 21 cents. I was like, oh my God, the worst thing ever happened. I went negative. And then I just thought, how silly. It's like negative by 21 cents, and like how I would make that a big ordeal before. So I like didn't even react. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, that's too funny.
I mean, I laughed. I thought, oh my, I mean, I get paid here shortly anyway. So I'm just like, oh my God. And I feel like because I reacted totally different that time, it was once again me moving, because that never happens to me. So it truly was me manifesting that from all the fear shit yesterday I was going through. And so it was like the perfect opportunity to choose a different reaction. And usually my reaction is laughing.
Good one.
Yeah. So where my chosen new reaction is usually laughing at shit. So anyways, yeah, I just thought I would share that. And then I was telling my boyfriend about it. And so he's just like, oh, well, here's $50 so you don't have to sit, in negative right now. I'm like, okay, cool. So, and then I manifested money. So there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you're talking about money. I mean, the perennial topic, because at a very interesting point, I was able to get a new credit card and add an additional credit card. And they said, because Experian keeps telling me it's a good thing because it helps bring your credit score up. So I wasn't particularly sweating over my score, but it was still nice. And one night, because some of them I just didn't qualify, because they kept telling me, try these are a good match for you. But then they kept telling me I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this one MasterCard from PayPal shows up, and like I could feel it in my belly that this was the right timing. So I applied for it and I got it in like a second, but this is helping me because my unemployment from teaching with all, being home, in Florida, it just dies, it's like gone the way of all things. And I'm not upset because I feel there's a flow of money coming in. The credit is just a bridge because I have to set up certain things online. But in order, I'm using that so that I can eventually, the money can flow back to me, so that it's like, what's the point of freaking out about it? It's gonna straighten itself out. So if that's the direction that things are moving in, and it's really a good feeling not to be, sweating about it. It's just, it's all going to just work out because that's what we're imagining. We can see where this is taking us all, I love your tree, Marcy. It's so beautiful against your the dark and the light there. Wow. What a contrast. It's gorgeous. So that's kind of where I'm coming out on that. It's just like right on the cusp, and not to feel, stop and remember, and not to get anxious,
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe we could go ahead and hit record since we're already on the topic.
I already did that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. There we go.
Good.
Okay.
Everyone laughing straight in their hair.
I think it was recording anyway. Okay.
Oh, it does say recording. So does the whole world hear that I have negative 21 cents this morning?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you want to share it, I guess if you want to share it. So.
What's really, really interesting in both of your stories is that both of you felt something in your belly. Both of you were like, nope, I'm not feeling that. And
Yeah.
and you felt something else. And that's the most interesting thing, because as soon as you feel that feeling, you know that there's movement and change. You know that it's done.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
That's the difference. It doesn't stuck here, and you think, well, heart would be a great indicator, but it really has to get down in the gut.
Yeah.
I never noticed that until
2020 is live right now. We just
Oh,
got
is
the
he?
report. Yeah. I'll have to send him a message. We're doing our comma.
Yep,
our
sorry.
coffee club. I'll have to let him
We're
know. I'll
tied
let
up.
him know.
I should have
Yeah,
invited him in.
I'll let him know.
Yeah. One
That's
day.
funny. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. What is it? Live video. The question nobody struggling is asking, and how to ask. Okay. Oh, that's funny.
How to do a group call
Well,
live.
Yes.
yeah, I didn't believe it was nearly.
Pretty impressive looking empires and starve because they don't ask this one question.
Okay, I'm gonna just let him know, but you know, keep the convo going while I'm.
Yeah, sorry, we're recording. Hey, TT.
No,
Alrighty,
this
guys,
is pretty
Here
cool.
we go.
Here we go.
Say hi.
Here we go. We're already live.
So here's the whole thing, guys. So we got that whole footprint left behind thing. Boom, from Memphis. Bonnie Donaldson. Yo,
Okay.
nice to see you.
Put it all.
So does Rose. I think I saw the name.
Footprint, triples.
Oh yeah. So that was fun.
I'm just letting him know.
Points if you put up a post.
Oh, it is
That's
her
good. Oh, good. You left him a message.
Her phone? Is that what you're talking about, Marcy?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, I
Get
just
back to
told
the
him.
phone case.
Catch the refund. There you go.
What we need to do for 20 is with graphics team Lene, we need to do a post. Instead of it being Charlie's Angels, we need 20's Angels.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, maybe we should switch our. Is there a way we should maybe think about switching our time so that on our Wednesday we don't miss him, or would you like to just not worry about that? What do you feel?
We're normally on a 7 o'clock, aren't we? But he's only 10 minutes, so we could always, it depends on what everyone's doing. But evenings are fine for me so long as I can get the kids sorted.
Because he's only on for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's usually
You
gonna
know,
be
and it's
of
like
us anyway,
We'll be over by then, will we not?
pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's usually on at quarter before the hour. So
yeah, he just it's like 10 of 3. He just came on my time.
yeah, he's pretty consistent with his time. So I wouldn't change it, because even if we go a little longer or a little shorter than what we expect,
Well, normally we'd be starting at 2. I mean, just because we had all this technical. So normally
We'd probably be done.
We'd be done, yeah, or nearly done.
Yeah, we'd be
'Cause
done,
we're doing like a half hour. So if now that we're set, that we can use Zoom until we figure out something else.
and this is like the way to go.
Hmm?
It's all right. I've paused it.
Oh. So why don't we go ahead and start and kind of do our intro of ourselves and how we found
Sure.
our whatever you want to share.
I can't hear you. Did I lose sound? What happened?
Who's first?
There we go. No, I lost sound for a second.
Val, do you want to introduce yourself and how you got into this?
Thank you. I will introduce myself. I am Valerie Carruthers, and well, by profession, I'm a writer and yoga teacher, and I have been involved in studying Eastern philosophy for about 30 years. And about, I don't know, I guess it's about 3 years, because that's when I looked at my first correspondence with 20, it dates back to 2017. And I was looking more at Neville Goddard, Law of Attraction. When you start Googling, Neville would come up, and I was interested at that time in an SP situation, manifesting a specific person. And this one site, which was very involved with law of attraction, had all methods for that and everything, and all these scenarios you'd write. And somehow I think the free Neville Goddard stuff started coming up in my searching. And then I started reading more straight Neville. And then that led me into seeing 20's website. And then I'd start emailing questions to him. He just answered different stuff and kind of he cleared me up on why it was not good to try to manifest an SP. And after that, I just started really getting hooked into reading. I was really reading up a lot of pretty much everything now, except all the lectures, but I either listened or I was reading the PDFs online. I was just, really immersing myself, and then just kept staying in touch with 20 off and on, and buying some of the smaller, I guess just different programs or things that he had. And then what really mushroomed was this year, I think, when I did a Manifesting Mastery course. And then that sort of segued pretty much everything, because I did Manifesting Mastery course I think I started in August. And then by the time that finished, I just rolled over into Dream Driven Day. And then now I'm in the club. So it just kind of kept one thing going on top of the other. But then I got more involved in his, in the Make Mistakes, Make Money, Make a Difference group. And it's really amazing how all of these start fitting into the other. And it was just exactly what I needed to learn about. And then when we were all in Dream Driven Day, we were all like, in a way, it was amazing. And it just had this domino effect on us writing our ebooks and getting ourselves out there. Now Michelle is about to birth hers. I'm so excited for Michelle. But Lene did hers, and then I was like, I had this big head of steam going. So, well, this is it. This is exactly the butt kick that I needed. And then Marcy's came out, and so it was Lene, and then me, and then Marcy, and then Andrew Maxwell, and now Michelle. And Rose's came out along there, but that was her second one, so she was already sort of in that loop. But for all of us, it was so exciting that we were all kind of pushing them out one after the other here. It was just amazing. So so that's really been kind of my my progress with this, and then getting more involved in the different communities online and and for me, this is a great immersion when I can start to feel I'm speaking the language enough to be able to talk to somebody else and explain it to them. Because that's what it is, when as a yoga teacher, so many people have branded their styles of yoga apart from the very, old traditional main styles or lineages of yoga. And so like one might be very alignment, and one is very mind-body awareness, and another one is very athletic. And so you have to learn the particular way of instructing for each of those. And there's a point in like a yoga teacher training where you're doing a 200 or 300 hour immersion where you're the person giving the instructions, and it's very interesting to see how people piece an instruction together in a way that somebody could close their eyes and do it. And so I find this for me, it's kind of a similar process, to be able to talk about this in an intelligent way so that somebody goes, thank you, I needed to hear that, or, this is really helping me, as opposed to I have no clue, or it's woo-woo, or it's this or that. And be able to also stand up for what for what it's about in the face of someone who comes into a group and tries to, troll it, So there's just a lot, to me, that's a large part of it is the communication of it. And that means you have absorbed it well. So I think that's very important. So this has been also my learning curve, as well as, it's one thing to read it and another thing to absorb it. And then another thing to have metabolized it and digested it and be able to kind of radiate it, I think is also part of it. So that's a lot of where it comes out for me and I think that's just my nature because I'm a teacher writer person anyway. So that's was the way I approach things, is that kind of imbibing that understanding. And it's very interesting because, you know, in the yoga traditions, there's certain, I don't want to just say mantras, but there's, you know, there's certain like chants that have long texts that you do every day. And it's very interesting because it never gets stale. You never, you know, when you've done them for years and years and years, you can hear it every single morning. It sounds like you never heard it before. It's just the most mystical, amazing thing. And that's very true about a lot of what this is. Even though you know it, you really feel like there's something, it never goes like, oh yeah, it's old. It's not. It's eternal. It's always there. It's always now. So it's a very amazing feeling when everything takes on that you know, that truth, that reality. And in yoga, there's a chant that goes, lead us from darkness to light, from the real to the unreal, you know, from the false to the truth. And that's exactly what's happened for us here. You know, that's where all these traditions really sort of have their place where they merge. And that's why I felt that this coming from the Christian tradition. I mean, I'm born into a Jewish family, moderately observant, so I had that tradition, but I always took more to Hinduism and other, you know, sort of looked at other Eastern philosophies, but always went back to that, but never had a big handle on the Christian, you know, even though Course in Miracles came out, a lot of people dabbled and got into that. But for me, when I started reading Neville, he was the first person who I could connect with, because there was that, it just worked. It just really clicked for me to understand that, and the way he talked about the figures in the Bible as states of consciousness. And then when I saw that, I said, yeah, this is the missing piece. This was what really ties it together. And then when the whole point of the, you know, manifesting and from the imagination, that was really hit the sweet spot. So that's why I'm here. And that's what makes it, you know, and then the beauty of what 20 has been doing is how it's gotten all of us together, and that we've gone on and, you know, made our ripples going forward. And that's just such an extraordinary thing. You know, it's just in the space of such a short time, and here we are. So what could be cooler than that? What a gift that is, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. You're welcome.
I think we all relate there for sure. This year in particular.
Yeah, I mean, like I see you smiling and nodding when I'm saying this stuff, so I know you felt all that. And that's what, you know, people have said to me, I mean, like I'd be at an ashram or something, and I'd say to somebody, so what brought you to come to this particular thing? And somebody would go like, well, we're all here for the same reason, you know. But I think everybody, you know, because maybe they say that too because there's things they don't really want to talk about, and they're, you know, and they feel it's all about, look, we're here and that's what counts, and da da da. But, you know, I think that sometimes people do really want to share what's changed in their lives, and, you know, and how something in particular has really opened that up for them. So, you know, that just depends on the person. Yeah. But I know we've all hit that point of connection some way or other. And I think that's really you know, and it's affected us all in a different way. So
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important, you know. So, you know, like for me, it's like I do like taking sort of complex ideas and then making them accessible. And I think 20's been doing that so brilliantly all along. So we get a little touch of that and how we each express, you know. And you had the magic blanket concept, Marcy, which I think was really cool. And then you did your pizza thing and with the anxiety, which was very cute. You know, it was great, you know, because I think, you know, it's like said that in every era, it's, you know, the teachers come along who can express eternal stuff in an appropriate way to the time that they're in. So if you know, like spiritual teachers in a particular lineage, if you look at the way, you know, some of them gave talks or things 30, 40 years ago, things they were talking about was different because the society was different at that time. So they had to say things in a way that related to people.
Right.
And then the next person would come along who'd be heading up that particular group or lineage, and they'd be, you know, using another kind of language to relate to people. So it's really has to reflect this, you know, the society that you're part of, and that's how you reach people, is through that. You know, and then they can see now it's really all the same stuff. It's really all the same truth. They're the same, you know, like the way, that's why people like 20's right in a way when he says, you know, some people have a hard time following the way Neville talks, because think of Neville's time frame, you know, but even
Yes.
then, and then you also look at although when you read him, it's easier to follow. Reading him is one thing. And then also sometimes the recording quality is a little hard, so it's a little hard to follow everything he says. You have to really listen, and a lot of people don't have the patience for that, you know.
Oh, I love that. I love listening. I love listening to them.
Yeah.
I love that man's voice.
Oh, he has a beautiful voice. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a beautiful actor voice, you know, and he has a wonderful voice. But a lot of people, you know, but some people, like 20 says, they don't stick with it. So he's right. It's like when he broke up that one lecture, it's in Manifesting Mastery, where you listen to it over the course of about a week or whatever, or a few weeks. That's really great, because then people can really get a little bit each time. And I totally understand that. And that's because that's, you know, attention spans are,
Yes. I can relate.
It's scary, but it's what's happened, you know. So that's where I, you know, that's my feeling about, you know, about it. And the more you do it, the more extraordinary, and you start seeing it, and you start seeing what happens when you do this for people, and start to feel it in yourself. And it's magic. It's just it's a wonderful, it's the magic of it, you know. This is what it is. And you say, well, no, it's the Christ is about you, and it makes it. Then it starts to fit. It all starts to fit together. So that's why I'm here. You know, that's why I'm glad that we're doing this, and you know, and also discovering, oh my God, I can podcast and I can publish. You know, and it's like, oh my God, it doesn't have to be the way I always thought it had to be to get to publish, you know, and it's just extraordinary to have that, to see that happening. So I'm very itching to get my next book finished so I can get out there, you know. There's a lot of weird stuff kind of, you know, not the holidays so much, but the TNC, a lot of energy.
Amen.
Right? Amen. Oh, honey, holy crap. So that was insane. But but I'm just like, you know, I'm here. I mean, where else am I going? I was like, this is perfect. Right. Yeah. Sit here.
I think what's great is I always looked at people doing those things, like writing books and doing podcasts and making YouTube videos, as like, oh, they're really good at doing that stuff, not me. I'll just stick to my little, you know, 9 to 5, because that's what I'm good at. You know what I mean? And so now it's given me the ability to like, oh shit, like duh.
Well, but don't you think that like the technology has gotten much more user friendly to do all that stuff? You know, it's not something you have to know a sound engineer. I mean, you can
Right.
take it out to all kinds of levels, you know, but there's you know, a friend of mine who is in this area, and she's about the same age as me, and she's been working on a yoga series that I think she just put out on YouTube, but she had to work out the technology. We would talk about microphones and stuff, and you know, she and her husband podcast, but they have some other system that they use. But but that's, you know, he may know a little bit more, but because I think he's like a video guy himself. But you know, the thing, that's okay. And the thing is it's very funny to me, because I was talking to a guy who was onboarding me for this one yoga platform. And he's a kid out in California. And I said something about SEO. And he was like, oh, you know, it was really funny that a yoga teacher would understand this. Like, come on, give me a break. You know, it's like, it's right now, it's like right at our fingertips to be able to at least do basics with a lot of this and not be afraid of the technology, you know. And I mean, you know, it's a lot, you know, sometimes there's a lot of bridges, and yeah, the little kids are going to always know more than we know, but that's okay. You know, we just kind of do it, you know, and not be afraid that it's not for you, because there's some level of it. I think that the kind of fears around that may have to do with what you feel about yourself, you know, with any person. You know, it's like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, it's for somebody else. Because you have to see what you can do and not let that stuff scare you. And I think that's, you know, so that's the fascinating part, is when you see that it is that simple, you know. So because all my ideas were, well, if I'm going to author a book, which was always my dream, is, you know, it's like, you know, then it has to be the great American novel or something, you know, huge. And you know, but and then 20 comes along. It's like, now you crash it out in 7 hours and you charge $7, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is great.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
It's like, for so many years before I got into this, it's like you're waiting for that big thing to land so that you go, oh, I know where I'm at, I know my purpose, I know who I am. And it just doesn't work like that at all, because for so many years you searched, or I searched, I went down this rabbit hole right from my teenage years, because I didn't want to conform. I didn't want to be normal. And so I went down this rabbit hole, and I looked at tarot, I looked at Wicca, I looked at shamanism, I qualified in Reiki and like loads of stuff. And yeah, it was all, I immersed myself into this spiritual world, yet I never felt fulfilled. And because I felt that way, I then continued to search.
Yep.
For years and years, the funny thing is that everybody assumed that I had my head on. And I've given thousands of tarot readings. I've had so many people come to my door for advice. And yet I never felt fulfilled, yet I fulfilled them. And so it got to a point where I believed that I was raising my energy level and I was meditating a lot, and I was then listening to Deepak Chopra, I was listening to Wayne Dyer, and that's when things started for me to head into Neville Goddard. And over the years I dipped in and out of 20 because on face value I didn't get it.
Can I ask, Michelle, when you first encountered 20? It's about how long would you say?
I think this is my third time and I'm staying, but it must have been over the last 2-3 years, where I dipped in and I watched a few of his videos, because when you type in manifesting on YouTube or something, you get his videos come up.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up. And also when I was listening to Wayne Dyer a lot, I'm reading his books, then I got the name Neville Goddard, and so I did a little bit of research, but I didn't get it. And yet it was actually that I didn't want to get it, because It was my answer. And I actually believe this can't be that simple. That's what it was.
Yes.
I don't, how can it seriously be this easy? It can't be. This is the biggest load of bull ever. People are making money on this being simple. You believe that a manifesting book like all of you guys have written, and I'm waiting to publish mine. We've all believed that it has to be this thick and it has to be so full of information. But no, the more compressed it is, the simpler and the easier it is to grasp. And actually, when you realize that there is no grasping, it just is. It's the most natural thing in the world. And when 20 and Neville teach the naturalness of it, it's not just about the naturalness of the lessons, it's just a natural way of life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and for me, what changed me, what was the massive game changer for me was I stumbled upon the manifesting free videos, and 20 said, Michelle, give them a go. So I did. And then I did a little bit of further research, and I got straight into, I listened by complete accident about the Pearl of Great Price. And I was running a tarot page, and I was a tarot reader. And when I listened to the Pearl of Great Price, when Neville talks about he was the astrologer, he was educating and teaching somebody else the astrology, and all because a gust of wind came in the room, flipped the chart. I mean, how phenomenal. And yet she believed without a shadow of a doubt that her reading was spot on. She was right, and her imagining created that path for that man. And so then there was this big, oh my fucking God, I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I've been imagining the best for people, because when people come to me, I tend to work it out, and I always believe that there's a good way. And every time I was a good tarot reader, every time it happened, everything happened that I said, and I thought, my God, this is my imagination. So hang on, if I've imagined this for them, I better start working on me. And
Yes.
as soon as I listened to the Pearl of Great Price, I went to my tarot page. You can see it's still on it. I've not closed it down because people seem to still share my stuff. I am not active on it, but people still share my stuff. And I had about 3,000 odd followers. And I just put a notice up saying, as of now, I'm going to stop seeking and enjoy being. And I just, that was it, just right there and then after the Pearl of Great Price, I stopped.
Nice.
And then I went and I emailed 20 and I went, sign me up, I want to join Manifesting Mastery. And that was back in May. And do you know what? The year that we've had, I have had the best year of my life to date.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm right again, and the things that I'm doing are fulfilling me. Whereas I was seeking for so long and not having that fulfillment, now I'm fulfilling me, and I had time to do that.
It's great.
So
Speaking
yeah,
of tarot, that's literally what's sitting on the shelf behind me. All my tarot cards.
Yeah.
And my crystals up here. But yeah, totally been there.
this is my bookshelf of batshit crazy. I don't know if you can see, but that's my batshit crazy shelf, and that's got
Yep.
almost every book that I've studied before I came to Neville Goddard, and then I have Neville's book in my drawer beside my bed. So the batshit crazy is my little reminder up there.
No, because I've done
when you actually read some people's stuff, you realise that they've dipped into Neville, and that they too are Goddard followers, yet they don't state that they are.
Right. That's true.
Right, so that's me anyway.
Yeah. You know what's very interesting is when I was in spiritual groups, you know, the thing that would be interesting is, so everybody's studying Hindu meditation or whatever, hey, and yet, you know, somebody shows up who channels, or somebody shows up who does the Reiki, somebody does the crystals. So they're still running around, you know, and maybe, okay, because that person also is in the same meditation group, but it means that people are looking to a lot of other things, like you're saying, Michelle, to be fulfilling, you know.
Yeah.
So I know we've all kind of done a lot of the same things. I would go to, you know, you go to somebody's house and you look at their bookshelf and it's like, oh, we have like 6 of the same books right off, you know, like you want to check it all out. But so chances are we all have the same books. But you know,
because I'm not sorry Val, I'm
No,
not
no.
knocking anybody that is fulfilled by doing their spiritual stuff. I'm so appreciative of it, because had I have not gone down that avenue, I would not have found this.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's like the kindergarten class. We're now in the graduate program.
Absolutely. That's a good way
Yeah.
to. Yep.
I'm
We're
in
almost
this
graduates,
program,
guys.
look. This is my program, look.
Oh my gosh, I love
I
that.
love that. Wow. That is
Yes.
so cool. That is
Hey,
so cool. Send that to
these-
Rose. Send that to Rose for her. She'd love that, I bet.
Yeah,
you
she
know.
would.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah. Yeah. Send a picture of you. Yeah.
Okay, so what about you, Lene? What's your story with Neville?
Oh God. Well, I actually ran across this group, the Law of Attraction group, back in 2015. And it was after I watched The Secret, which then what was even more funny is someone, when I was 20, had bought me that book because my life was chaos. And they're like, this will explain so much. And I never read it. And then my ex-husband was super religious and threw it away.
The book, The Secret?
Yes. And so it always like kept showing up like randomly. Things like that would just start showing up again. And I'm like, what is this stuff? And so I got really religious, always in church, you know, and everybody would talk about accepting Jesus into your heart. And I'm like, why can I not accept this man? I mean, I would ride around listening to worship music, and I'm like, at some point I'm supposed to feel when the, you know,
It's gotta hit.
I mean, I'm like, why can't I do it? And so, I mean, I'm laughing now, but I was like really upset. Like, there's something wrong with me. I can't accept this. So anyways, so then I thought, well, let me get baptized. So I get baptized, and, you know, I'm really like into church and everything. And then my crazy ex-husband, which he's not crazy now, I should say, at the time I was really imagining chaos with him. Okay. And he's super religious. So he like used religion to like control me. Like, well, you're the wife, you're supposed to do this and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so I started getting like real, like, well, I don't want anything to do with religion no more. Like, if that's the God and the Jesus that everybody's wanting to mesh with, so that I could be this kind of wife, I don't think so. So off on my way I went. And so like that led me to 2015 when I came across that Law of Attraction group by Neville Goddard. And I didn't know who that guy was. And so then, and then of course, like with 20, like when he would write stuff, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy saying?
Right.
I'm like, I asked a question. What kind of answer is that? I mean, that's how it felt. I'm like, can you like expand on that? I don't understand. So, and one of my question was about PTSD, because I had PTSD from my relationship, you know, for years and years and years of the stuff I went through with him. And so, you know, I was in therapy, I was on medication, all kinds of stuff. And so I needed a straightforward answer, like, how did I manifest this into my life? Someone needs to explain. And like, he would not give me the answer that I was wanting, which is fluffy, you know, woo-woo stuff, is, you know, I wanted confirmation I was a victim, basically. And so I stayed around for a couple years without really mingling with anybody. And then I got on the twin flame bandwagon, which led me to a fucking twin flame cult. Holy crap. And the dude seriously went, I am the master Christ. Oh, we're all Christ, but I'm the master Christ. And if you Google my name, you will find the Vice articles where I told my story against the cult. And then I got a fucking lawsuit in July because they tried to sue me. Yeah.
This is way beyond batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Give me some more
So-
crap, girl. I'm listening.
So
Yeah.
meanwhile, I'm in
better than a
manifesting
cult.
mastery and all of that this year. And I'm like, fuck these dudes. I don't, whatever. I don't care, because it is batshit crazy. And I will refuse to call anybody a master Christ. If anything, I am the master of my life. And that's the conclusion I came to. And like you were saying, Michelle, it's like that fulfillment I finally found. It's like, well, no fucking shit. I'm looking at everyone else but myself.
Mhm.
To the point that I even manifested being a part of a cult to try to worship someone else. And it's like, no. Nope, not gonna do it. I create some crazy ass shit in my world over here.
Well, I'm
Go out
glad
with the
you're on
band.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how many of you of this group been to like a channeler, and it's like, oh, he's channeling, he used to do this and now he channels Merlin, or someone's channeling Ramtha, or someone's channeling something else, and of course that makes them wiser than wise. And
This dude said Jesus was his soul brother, like in his soul family, and Jesus came before him so that he could come show the way. I mean, like, what kind of Dave Koresh ass shit is this?
Exactly.
I live in Waco, so it's like,
Yeah.
Fits in with Waco.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Exactly.
But basically, I mean, to wrap all that up, this year in particular, I finally was like, no, I'm gonna make a decision to really read Neville Goddard, because I'd come across it so many times over the last few years, and I finally was like, no, I need to really understand, because it kept calling to me, and it made so much freaking sense. And because it made sense, and because I'm so logical and practical about things, that's why I could never be in a cult. I lasted 7 months. Like, I couldn't do it no more, because the logic, I'm just like, what? And I just watch everybody, ooh, no. And so when I realized I've been doing this all my life, that's what freaking did it for me. I was like, this is it. This is it. And so, yeah, like I did DDD and Manifesting Mastery and stuff this year, and made some great friends. And so it's been a wild ride. But now my life feels so much more calm, less chaotic, not woo-woo. I still like my tarot cards and stuff. And yesterday I just pulled a card just, to see, and it said something about networking with other people and building new friendships. And I said, see, yeah. And it's from me, right? So there you go.
Just confirming what you already knew. That's it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what happens. I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think, like we've all said, we have all kind of done our own batshit crazy, and but if we wouldn't have went down that road, that path, that rabbit hole, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't understand this, or we wouldn't understand it to the capacity that we do now. So I think, as crazy as some of it, especially what you went through, I think it's definitely helped you grasp this even more. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like, it's
for
like,
sure.
you know, yeah, crazy. My story is definitely not as crazy as yours. um, I don't,
Sorry, I should have went last.
Yeah.
mine, I've always been interested in spirituality. Like, I remember being a teenager and looking into different things. Like, anytime I went to a bookstore, I was always in the New Age section.
Same.
You know, astrology, whatever. I got into tarot, probably about 2005 or something. I don't know. But I was always into stuff. I read a lot of Napoleon Hill, Eckhart Tolle,
Mm.
all of that, you know, like just I always wanted successful. Like it's always been, oh, you're gonna be so successful. Like this is how you do it. You read these. Like I was in Amway when I was 14 years old. Okay, I was selling makeup, which, as you can see, I'm not like my makeup is very standard. But anyways, yeah. So in these endeavors, I always was introduced to, okay, read this book and read this book and read this book, and I was into so many different multi-level marketing schemes over the years, and it was always about, you know, self-care and, you know, self-help books. Like I was always into those, and they were good. You know, they were all right. I would read them all, and I would never apply anything I read. But about, I don't know, 2.5 years ago, like I really reached a deep, dark spot. I um, I couldn't sleep, and when I did sleep, I would wake up just in a raging panic attack for no reason. Like I didn't even know why, um, and I cried like every single day. Didn't know why. I just was so depressed, and I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be here. And so I started searching. And back in like 2005, I read The Secret and all that, and it had something to it that attracted me, you know, the whole law of attraction. I liked it, I understood it, but I still didn't grasp it. So in 2019, like the summer, I started just searching for things, and I looked at manifesting and, you know, oh, you got to get your energy level up. Shit, do you know what happens when you're in like a deep, dark place? You sit there and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be positive. Well, because you were so deep, dark, and depressed for so long, you have so much stuff trying to catch up. So it's just like, okay, I'm good today. Oh wait, here's something bad. Well, shit. How do I get out of this? I'm never gonna get my level up if everything bad keeps happening. So I was like, this isn't working. This isn't working. So I was just Googling too, and the coffee club video came up with 20, or the coffee game,
The coffee game.
the coffee game. And I remember watching it. I was like, who the hell calls himself 2020? Like, what type of name is that? But I was just like, so I'm like, I just have to watch. Just like, I have to. Like, whoever thinks he can call himself 2020, like, all right, he's got something, and I just need to see.
Right,
Well,
he was the batshit crazy, right?
exactly. I was like, off his freaking rocker. I was like, smoking, right? So, but I was like, all right, I'm watching it, whatever. And I watched it. I was like, holy shit. Like, what the hell? So I go onto Facebook and I search up 20. Okay, let's see what this dude does. And I get into the Law of Attraction by Neville Goddard group, and I'm reading and everything. And I emailed him a couple questions, and you know, he helped me. I mean, we all know how amazing 20 is. He takes time to actually email people back. I emailed him. I was like, this dude's never gonna email me back, but whatever. Here we go. Emailed me like that night, and you know, really helped. And I got the 7 videos and I watched them. I was like, okay, like, really? This is all about imagination? Really? is it that simple? Like it's all me. It's all on me. And doesn't hurt your imagination, right? It can't be bad if you're not hurting anybody by using your imagination. You're not going to hurt yourself. Imagine good things. So within a week, I did manifesting mastery, and my anxiety was gone within the first 2 weeks of manifesting mastery. I couldn't even believe it. And then I did 3 triple Ds back to back from June to October. And, you know, total transformation. And like everybody has said, it's just like, I don't know, like there was a huge lift of weight when I got this. Like, it's just like, this feels, like you said, fulfilling. This feels like where I'm supposed to be at. I mean, hello, you know, so much crap has happened over the past year, right? We've all been through it. We're dealing with COVID. We're dealing with the repercussions of shutdowns, you know, everything like that. But yet, it has been, like, you guys, like, the best year. Like, for whatever reason. Like, I had a decent job, you know. I got paid way more than most people should have got paid at that pizza shop that I worked at, right? It was a good paying job, but it wasn't fulfilling. You know, it was taking up my time, and I was feeling restricted. Like, okay, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And you know, I knew I didn't want to be there. I knew I wanted to be home. I knew I wanted to be working from home, working on my own thing. And so yeah, taking a huge leap of faith of leaving a, you know, well-paying job for whatever, you know, it was scary. But at the same time, as soon as I did, like you said, Lene, yesterday, it was just like I could breathe. I wasn't choking. I was not choking anymore. There was veins wrapped around my neck, and but it just it's insane. And like I admitted in our group and everything, like, yeah, I definitely manifest a lot of dramatic bridges, so I can't go back, right? So I can't turn around and go back on that bridge. That was how it was with my job, because I would have went at some point, whether it was, okay, well, you know, my husband's out of work for a few weeks, I could go back and just for a couple hours a week, get some money, you know, keep things afloat. But I also know, had I done that, I would have in, and I would have been working too many hours every week and not doing what I wanted to do. So unfortunately, things happened, and now the shop is closed. So I couldn't go back. Just like with my car, I want a new car, and apparently I will keep my car until it dies. So car is gone. Gone by this morning. They came and towed it away. So yeah, but at the end of the day, like, when you were speaking about the whole victim mentality, I lived in victimhood. Victimhood was my hood. You know, I was a martyr, I was a victim, everything. And then when I finally got that it all comes from me, that I create it all one way or another, it was hard to swallow, but once I did, it made so much sense, and it allows me to not be a victim. It allows me not to be a martyr. It allows me to accept things that seem unacceptable, but know that it's a bridge, especially when you know what you want. So I don't know, I babbled for so long. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, so that's
That wonderful share. Totally relatable.
Yeah, it's great.
I've loved doing this.
I think this is pretty fun for us, especially taking week and focusing on a topic and
No, this has
other-
been great. Yeah. We can pick something for next week.
I think we, you know, kind of going back to what we were saying before, talking about adding meetings to things. I think that's a huge one to start with.
Right.
Yeah, I
The
like
girls
that.
giggled episode. I like that. Yeah. There you go.
And then we'll all just giggle the whole time.
And see what meaning people give it.
Yeah, right.
Just sit and laugh for half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I got screaming kids out in the hallway.
Yeah, I gotta make a call. But this has been amazing. We did a good start. We took, took us
did
a while
it,
to get
gals.
set up, but we'll stick with the 2 o'clock Eastern or whatever it is for each of you, right? Marcy and I are on the same.
Yeah, that works for me.
Whatever. Yeah, we can, just stay with that. It's good.
Works for me.
Oh,
So
well,
we're
I've
gonna
enjoyed
stick
our
with
chat
Zoom
over
unless
our
we
coffee.
figure something out. So what do we do with this now? We take this and upload it to YouTube? Or so is somebody gonna do that? Or I'm not quite sure what we're doing. How do we do what we